All around the country, people have been protesting recent judicial decisions to not indict police officers in some high-profile fatalities. What do you think this national moment is about?
Clearly, these cases are tragic, but I think if you look at the long run, there's a tremendous opportunity in this national moment. You have some new things happening now that have not happened before. When I look at the television and I see multiracial protests in a lot of cities, when I see groups of white people going down the street saying down with white supremacy, when I see Twitter feeds called Criming While White, which try to publicize the effect of white privilege, when I see discussion in mainstream media about the everyday reality of implicit bias, something is new. There's a new moment that we can take advantage of. This comes out of 40 years of contact across racial lines. However, although it's smaller than we want, there's been a lot of that contact. And so clearly, a fair amount of people, white folks, have been in some level of contact with people of color and are more sympathetic to the possibility that they face different realities. What I think we need now is a national dialogue that is purposefully trying to increase the number of white folks who have some secondhand experience of people of color. Some settings of dialogue in which large numbers of people from different communities will talk to each other about their experiences and perceptions. And people have to grapple with the fact that different communities experience the police differently. I think if we can mobilize that national effort, we can really move forward, not just on the police community issue, but on many issues that we're stuck at because we're not talking to each other across racial lines. So I think there's huge potential in this national moment. We just have to mobilize effectively. What I find is that previously a national conversation really means a number of forums in which the vast majority of people are watching experts talk to each other, and occasionally a few get to make a comment or ask a question. They're all observer events. When I say national dialogue or national conversation, I'm talking about an effort to really mobilize people in facilitated, small group, focused conversations that start with their experiences and expand out to how they see the world. I don't think that has happened in the past. I think we've had too many high-profile events, and that we call that national conversation. So maybe I'm talking about national conversation 2.0, something that is different, that is organized in a more sophisticated manner, that uses technology so that every meeting generates real data about both perceptions and options for the future. We need something that takes advantage of what we know about how to convene large groups of people and help them come to some collective new understanding. That would be new. We haven't done that. In thinking about a national conversation on these issues, one of the things that we know is that we have a president who understandably has concluded it undermines his general legitimacy to bring up issues around race directly. He's concluded that, and I think that that's the right conclusion. I worked for President Clinton on his national race initiative. He did that. Obama's not going to do that, and that's understandable why. However, we still need societal leaders to mobilize the level of effort that it would take to put hundreds of thousands of people in conversation. It would be great to have leaders that could use their convening power, but I still think that the philanthropic sector, with its knowledge about institutional process, with its broad reach organizationally, is in a special position to respond to with some level, a national crisis. And what I hope is that set of leaders rises to the occasion and uses the tremendous influence and the brain power they have to mobilize the goodwill that's out there among organizers, dialogue facilitators, people who will be willing to show up to do the hard work of putting together people who look at the world very differently in a room and have a conversation. I think it is only philanthropy that's in a position to do that. It's not going to cost a lot of money in comparison to the price of this problem, but you would have to mobilize some resources, but a small amount in comparison to the potential value.